Yeah,
doesn't like
that's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. So, can everybody hear me okay? Am I loud enough? Just put a thumbs up.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Well, hello, everybody. For those that know me, I'm the director at Kava Talks. Those who don't know me, I'm the director at Kava Talks. I was asked by Susie if I would be a part of this retreat to work with people and how to deal with media, so your media presence. And I've been blessed to be a part of this since the beginning this morning, and I think I'm going to do a little quick pivot. I was supposed to be with you guys in person. I wasn't able to make the trip out there because somebody here has COVID, so we're kind of in a self-quarantine. But what I am going to do is the presentation that I was going to make, I'm going to offer it for next week, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. your time. So for those who would like to see the actual media presence, I'm going to do a slight pivot, because I think before we understand how to deal with the media, I think everything that has come across today is how we present ourselves, our communication, how we are present, and how our impressions to people. Yes, it's one thing to get on the media. Yes, it's good to understand how to deal with the media. But before we even get to the media, it's about understanding who we are as a brand. Over the past 3 decades, I've helped brand and introduce probably some of the biggest musicians into the world of pop music and R&B. And I wanted to just share some of the same principles that I wanted to share with you guys. So I want you guys, we're going to do a quick exercise once the cameras start moving, because now I'm getting motion.
Is that good? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I would like you to look to the person to your left or to your right. If there's somebody next to you, I would like you to tell them and explain to them what you do. Just look them left to right, just to say, hey, my name is so-and-so, and this is what I do. I'd love to see what people say. Basically, I'd like to hear your pitch of what you do. I don't see people talking, I just see a lot of people sitting.
What do you do here in
Yep, thanks, Sarah. Come on.
What do you do?
What do you do?
What's that?
I'm asking you what you do. Yes, you gotta unmute yourself. Oh, no, mute it. Sorry, it's all right. Has everyone had a chance to explain to the person next to them what they do?
No, they're still going.
All right, when you're ready. When you're ready. This is very important. I'll show you why.
What do? I educate, no. I take over classes for teachers who teach regularly in high school. And I also want to, I didn't do this year, I want to help people find homes and other real estate to invest in. So that's what we don't do yet.
I do. I retired.
Paul, can you hear us okay?
I can. I'm gonna pick on a couple of people when you're done.
That's a lot.
People, you can help each other. That's all I'm doing.
That's a lot.
I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes to wrap it up.
It is here, but
This is not a biography. This is not the behind the music on VH1.
I'm first and foremost trying to be the best example of mom and trying to lead by example for kids. But then it's also cool. I get to do microlending with the business owners. So first and foremost, that's me. We're better kids trying to be better for them.
No, I still see somebody over there.
That's awesome.
That's great. You are better.
you're hiding from Paul.
All right. I'm gonna pick on Simi. Simi,
Yes.
can you explain to me what that young lady behind you does?
What?
What Sharon does.
Oh, Sarah does micro loading, and she's helping out with the kids, and she just made herself a new life, found herself a new life with her kids, and she's happy.
Beautiful. Did everybody understand what Sarah does?
Yes.
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 Okay. Now, the person in the purple shirt,
Stephen?
Me?
Stephen?
Steven.
Yes.
okay, sorry, Stephen, she's colored.
Oh,
Can you explain what the person in front of you does?
oh, well, I talked.
Oh, you did Susie? Okay.
Susie runs a community organization that focuses on helping the Pacific Island community, especially around violence prevention, business alliances, and a third thing.
So the beautiful lady in front of you, who did you tell me what Simi does?
Simi runs Kava Talks, which he created.
Okay. What else?
He's retired now, but his focus is Kava Talks. He is also an amazing support to PIK2AR in total.
I love it.
So,
Now, what you guys just did was a simple exercise in listening to your elevator pitch. Now, I'm gonna have the young lady who just talked about Simi, I'd like you to walk as close as you can to the camera so I can see you, if that's okay with you. Yep, just come up close to the camera. I'm gonna do a pitch test with you.
I don't know.
So can you tell me what you do?
Okay, right now I'm a substitute teacher, so I help when teachers are not there, if absent teachers in the grant school district. I would like to, but I'm not there yet. I would like to help everyone buy their dream home or real estate that they can invest in and continue to make money.
Now, everybody who's listening to my voice, give her a big round of applause. Now, I'm going to change how everyone gives their elevator pitch. No, stay there. Don't go nowhere. Stay there. We're going to change this. We're going to do this live. We're going to do this live so everyone sees how this works. Now, I want you to start your pitch by saying, you know how, when, and then fill it in. Because you kind of alluded to that. Well, this is what we're going to do. You're going to start off with, you know how, when, and then you're going to answer that question. Everybody, your pitch should start off with, you know how, when, and so I'll give you a made-up pitch of mine, okay? You know how when you want to send money to your family in Tonga or Samoa, and you only have $50 to send, but they tell you it's going to cost you $12 to send it? Well, what I've created is a new platform for you to send money to your loved ones for free, and when that happens, you save money. So what I just did was I made up a pitch using this format. Now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start off with saying, you know how when teachers are absent, now build your pitch.
Okay, you know how when teachers have other duties they need to attend to, they have family responsibilities, well, I can come in and help out, and other substitute teachers can also do that, and take your class.
Stop. I'm not here to pitch other substitute teachers. You're going to start this again.
Okay.
You know how when teachers are absent or when they have to be at their places, I fill in for their position, and when that happens, teachers are able to take leave, and I'm able to fill in and help other students. So that is exactly what you do. You're a substitute teacher. You didn't have to tell me that, but I figured it out all based on your pitch. I'll try it one more time.
Okay, you know how when teachers have to be absent from school? Well, I come in and help and take over their class so their students do not miss the teaching they need.
Perfect.
Is that enough?
No, it's perfect. That's what you do. Give up in your own applause. Thank you. You may sit down now. I'm going to pick on Susie since she's talking while I'm trying to present. Susie, come to the front.
Good for you.
Okay, what's the first part?
Because the young man didn't know what your third thing was, start off by saying, you know how, then you're going to explain what it is, and then you're going to end, and when that happens, you give the result of, that is your elevator pitch.
Okay, I don't know if I can say those exact words, but I will try.
You can, you fit it in.
Just say like the first part, and then I'll fill in the blanks.
Okay, you know how,
People,
no, say you know how, you can say it.
oh, you know how people, right?
Yep, you know how whatever.
You know how
You gotta finish it.
people are abused and have
Yes.
traumatic lives.
Yes?
And then what was the second phrase you wanted me to use?
No, you explain what it is and then you explain how you solve that.
Oh, so.
How you personally solve that if that's what you do.
So, do you know, I don't even remember the first phrase, but anyway, but.
No,
do
you know how.
do
Don't
you
watch,
know-
Susie, I'll just simply do it because, and just to give you, I'm not here to pick on you.
No,
I want
it's
you
okay.
to see, as easy as this is, it's still hard because now what you have to do is you become economical with your words. Nobody wants to listen to your biography when you're pitching them what you do.
Right.
You want to say just enough to get them interested where they said, you know what, I want to talk to her after this.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get everybody into the frame of mind, is when you have an elevator ride and you need to try to sell who you are and what you do, sometimes you only have 30 seconds, 2 minutes at the most. So what you're doing here is, Susie, you're starting to, you know how when people are abused in our communities and this happens? Well, what I do is this. And when that happens, we live a harmonious and more, whatever it is that you want to add into that.
Yeah. So you know how people that you may know in your family have been sexually abused and survivors of domestic violence. We provide services where women can find their voice, they get case managed, they're empowered to find their higher ground. And because of that,
And when that happens,
children and families are stronger and strengthened, and then hopefully they live better lives together.
So that little secret and little formula, I hope everyone takes it and uses it. I will post in where that came from. It's a dear friend of mine by the name of John Livesay. He's known as the pitch whisperer, and that's a simple formula. And that's a formula that I've adopted. And when people come up and say, hey, what do? You would use this exact same formula when you're on the media. And for those of you who have been in front of camera, sometimes you only have 15 seconds to say what you're doing. So when they go, let's go live to Simi, who's right now in the valley, in the middle of the PIK2AR retreat. Simi, what are you guys doing here? Well, you know how the communities need the leaders to be able to, these are the kind of positionings and things that you would think about and construct, so that when you're in front of media or whether you're in front of doing an interview, this is probably the most simplest formula to follow that can not only compress and make sure that the words that you use, you're economical with it, but your presentation is also clear. So you don't listen and go, I didn't get it. That's the wrong message. What I simply did was I said, you know how, you explain what the problem is, you explain who you are. Susie started that. She's what we do. What Susie could have also done is, We at PIK2AR do blah, 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 blah. And when that happens, this. For more information, boom. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
So this is the basic formula that I'd love for every one of you here to adopt. I'm going to take this offline because there are other things that I'd like to thread on here, but I don't have my presentation stuff prepared, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I'd rather either give you guys the tools and the toolkits to be able to use that when talking. This allows you to talk from a position of authority. It also allows you to talk from a position of assertiveness in a good way, not in a bad way. Earlier you heard the young lady talk about the different way of communication, being receiver and sender of message and all that good stuff. But the last thing that it does is it allows you to be authentic. People know when you're fake. And if you come across fake, nobody wants to listen to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Authenticity is key, because when you're authentic, when you're talking from the heart, when you're talking from the mind, when you're talking from experience, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to share openly. If I was to share with my mind closed, with my heart closed, the message doesn't come across as inviting or something you want to listen to. When I share with my heart open, you're like, huh, maybe I might buy into this little gaga this guy's talking about. But one of the biggest things that we as a people, we as a community, we as a family, we as leaders, we as volunteers, we as people who have chosen this path in our life at this moment, in this time, in what we choose to do with what we have, whether it's our talent, whether it's our voice, whether it's our knowledge, whether it's even our time. This is very important that we stay authentic. And if we cannot be authentic, then we just need to step back and say, guys, I can't help you this week, I'm not there. I would rather you as community leaders say, I'm tired this week, I really am burnt, as opposed to showing up half-assed. Do not come to the community, because sometimes our community's only exposure to us is when they look at us, the only time we have the microphone. And if we come across as not interested or not, they know like they don't feel important. And the worst thing we could leave in anybody is the feeling that they were not seen, that they were invisible, that you didn't care. I know I hate it. I hate when I attend functions and you've been sitting there the whole time and they look like they talk to everyone but you. That's terrible. It's not how many like that feeling? Anybody like to be ignored? How many here like to be ignored? Exactly. So why would you, as a person who's ready to share what you're doing or what you're ready to share with the world, whether you're a part of, not be inclusive in your message? Your message, your presence, your authority, your authenticity, and your assertiveness is what makes your brand. Also is what makes you who you are. There are a couple of things. I'm going to just go real quick. Social media. How many people here have Facebook? Keep your hand up. How many here have Twitter? How many here have Instagram? How many here have LinkedIn? Now, I want to put all your hands down, and this is the one thing that I need everybody to do. After this event, everybody's going to go get themselves a LinkedIn profile. Okay? I don't care if you have anything else, we're all adults now. You need a LinkedIn profile. If you're serious about your business, if you're serious about what you do in the community, get a LinkedIn profile. Why, Big Paul? Anyone want to ask me that question?
Why, Big Paul?
Why?
Anyone know the answer?
Yeah? No, Big Paul.
So then you can get asked to help network with Indians that are looking for computer science jobs in the United States.
So the whole professional world is on LinkedIn. That includes companies that are looking to sponsor things. That includes companies that are looking for resources. That includes companies that are looking to share what they have with people like you. They won't know you exist unless you're on LinkedIn. They don't go looking through Facebook. They don't go looking through Instagram. They're starting to look now at TikTok. But the reality is, if you're a solid business, if you're a real business, if you're a real professional, learn to build your LinkedIn page. And it's imperative that every single person that's here today have a LinkedIn page that is complete. Don't fill a LinkedIn page where you don't have a picture in there. Don't fill a LinkedIn page where you have no background on your landing page. Your landing page is probably one of the most important things there. But I will talk more about that when I have next Wednesday. How many here would like to attend my thing at 7 o'clock on Wednesday? Because I just need to see so I can figure out how many I'll make some.
Everybody here?
Is that about what, 20, 10, 20 minutes?
8, 10,
So, I will bring, I'm going to try to bring in one of a branding agent to help us with that, but then I'll also bring in a media specialist in that session, and I promise you I won't make it longer than an hour because I don't want to go longer than that. I need to just everyone to stay focused. The little exercise that I just did here hopefully will help you understand the beginning. This is the small seed that you have to plant in your professional career and your professional presence. Everybody has to know that we now live in a digital age, right? So the #1 search engine in the world is
LinkedIn.
Google.
Google. Number 2 is
Alta Vista. No, Bing.
the #1 search engine. The #1 search engine in the world is Google. The number 2 is YouTube. And I say that because I'm also going to help you guys create the YouTube channel. Everyone here also, if you're serious, and if this is part of your work, should have your own YouTube channel. This is how you get ranked. This is how you get found. But the reason I added the LinkedIn, because this is how you get quote unquote real when it comes to the world of business. If you're coming to me and say, hey, Mr. Paul, we would like you to donate $100,000 to this cause. First thing I'm doing is, well, whoever's reaching out to me, I Google you. If I don't see you on Google, which all the way, if you haven't Googled yourself, you should. If you have no presence when you Google, it's time to create a presence. And some of you already have Google presence, and it's not the right presence. You know who you are. I don't need you to go. If we Google your name and the first thing that shows up is you on some telephone pole, then I can't help you.
Paul, get off my Google.
But I say this, and I say this because this is how, you know what's crazy is sometimes our own community thinks that what we're doing is a joke, right? They think it's a joke until somebody shows up and goes, well, we're here because of PIK2AR. You are? You know them? Really? Yes. We know them really. So with that being said, folks, I hope you take this time to reevaluate your presence. Your presence is what people are going to base their authentication on is this a real person? Does this person have any clout? Does this person have any substance? Does this person does he even have the ability to speak in what he's speaking about? All of these things can be found with a simple touch of Google, YouTube, but in our case now, I'm adding this as a must for everybody here, is LinkedIn. And I'm gonna tell you one other secret. The #1 LinkedIn company profile builder is in Utah.
Yeah?
The LinkedIn whisperer lives in Utah. Hint, hint.
Who is it?
So I will tell you who he is and another. If you come to my session on Wednesday, I will divulge that information for free, and I hope you reach out to him to help you with your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, can we Google him?
And these are the absolute basics. You know how people need a credit score to have credit and to buy a house and all that? You need an internet score to even be seen as somebody credible. I'll just give you some quick stats on my profile. I have less than 3,000 friends on Facebook. I have less than 2,000 followers on this. I have less than this on LinkedIn. But I am considered what they call, there's influencers in social media. I'm considered a meta-influencer. What's a meta-influencer? I'm an influencer who influences influencers. It's not about the amount of numbers that follow you. It's not even the amount of people who are your friends. It's the amount of people that you engage with. That's the important number. If you only have 100 people that follow you, but all 100 people are willing to tell 100 of their friends, you, my friend, are not influenced. There are a lot of people out there that have 3 million followers, but when you see they do a post, they only have 2 comments. That's not an influencer. That's somebody who bought a lot of followers. And I share these little nuggets with you so you prepare yourself for when you come on Wednesday. Let's tune it in and dial it in so you are able to maximize your exposure so that when media shows up, because media will show up, if you do this right, if you do this correctly in your presentation of who you are and what you do, people will come looking for you. The first company that I became an influencer for was Jordan. The Jordan brand. I started getting all this free Jordan stuff. And then after I did that, it became Sprint. And this was before social media. They just figured, man, that's the biggest billboard that walks around. He walks around all these celebrities. If he carries it, they'll see it's from him. And sure enough, it worked that way. But then when I finally did decide to get on social media, the first company that full-fledged brought me on board is a company called Lenovo. Anyone heard of Lenovo? So Lenovo is the largest manufacturer of personal computers outside in the world. They own HP, they own a whole bunch of stuff. I know you may not recognize it, but they're the largest single manufacturer of personal computers in the world. They called me up and said, hey, would you like to be an influencer? I said, I don't know what that means, I have no money. So they started sending me free computers. So for 4 years, I owned every single new computer that they put out just so they could hear me tweet about it. That's it. How many of you sitting in this room or should be influencers? I can tell you right now, in this room, there's at least 3 people that could be influencers, where companies would send you stuff, send you for free, that you get to travel for free. They would love to know what your thoughts and your opinions. You know the reason why you're not an influencer yet?
Oh, why?
Because they can't find you. How are they going to find you? You. I know this sounds silly. I know this sounds dumb. But if you guys seriously want to understand how to make your presence known in media, we're going to start off real simple. So we started off today with the formula for the pitch, right? So you learn to be economical with your words. What's the formula for the pitch? You know how, and you fill in the blank, and then you end with, and when that happens, did everyone get that?
Yes.
I'm assuming everyone memorized that because I didn't see nobody take notes on it. So obviously, y'all got photographic memory and you'll remember this. Come in on Wednesday. I will remind you on Wednesday. So I've given you that. I've asked you guys to make sure that the message that you speak of, you're A, authentic, assertive, and best of all, you are an authority in that space. Right? We had Alu here earlier talk about her stuff. She's an authority in that space. No reason why she shouldn't be an influencer. But you know what? Nobody can find her. And then the last but not least is we all got to get a LinkedIn page. Okay? I hope I didn't bore you guys to death. This was very concise and simple because Wednesday I hope to dive into things, drill it in. If anyone here has any questions, feel free to ask. I know it's been a long day. At least you guys had some lunch. All we did was stare at this. Any questions? Susie?
No, thank you. Great information.
No, you're very welcome.
Thank you so
Alu, any questions? Who's sitting behind you, Sydney?
Sharon,
Sharon.
Sharon. All right.
Maddie.
she used to be right behind me.
You're not supposed to see me hiding.
Sharon, how was
On
lunch?
purpose. Oh, lunch was great. So yummy.
Great. Now you walk up and let's hear your pitch.
Yes.
Yep, let's hear your pitch.
So you know how you're at home trying to sell your stuff, just starting selling on Facebook, you have these flashes of sales.
Yep.
When that happens, you can give me a call and I can help you get your business
No.
registered.
Before you get with that, what I do,
What I do
yep,
is help businesses get microloans. And so
what you do is you help business get microloans so that when that happens,
when that
I started from the top, started from the top, started from the
Start all
top,
over.
started from the top, you got it,
Once I was
hey girl.
sitting behind scenes. You got it, Sharon. Okay. So you know how when you've got this great idea and you start cooking and telling your friends when you have these sales, what I do is help. You got me shaking.
That's okay.
Good job, dear, good
Let me
job.
go home and practice. How about we do that? I'll go home and practice.
No, you got it, you got it. No, honestly, you're doing a great job, Sharon, go.
So what I do is I can help take your businesses and make it official, help you get registered. And then once we do that, I can help you with microloan. That's getting money to fund small loans that can help fund your businesses.
And when that happens,
Call me. Don't call Paul. He's gonna embarrass you.
no,
And when that happens,
when that happens, your business will succeed and flourish, and you will make a lot of income.
okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Yay, good job, Sharon.
Yeah.
I know this sounds daunting, and I know this sounds a little weird and off the norm, but what you just did, Sharon, was that you now were economical enough with your words where you said enough that I wanted to know more. And that's the goal of the pitch. Right? So if you have 15 seconds on TV, if you have 20 seconds on TV, you can get all that in and just get enough for them to be inquisitive enough to go, man, I gotta find out. The guy interviewing you would say, well, Sharon, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what number would they call? And then you've now extended your 20 seconds, another 10 seconds.
See,
Come on, let's do it.
Starting it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how when you're walking around and you're Polynesian, but people think you're Hispanic? What I do is I wear our t-shirts which say, "I'm Coco not Mexican." Then people believe that I'm Samoan. I'm just kidding. That's not the real pitch. You know how when it's 11 p.m. at night and your 3-year-old has a fever, it's 101 degrees, and you realize that urgent care is all closed and the emergency room is going to cost you $2,000 to check whether your kid has something serious? Well, what we do is, what PIK2AR does is we bring the provider to you. Late at night, after hours, you can call us and we'll send a provider out to your home to assess the situation. You can talk to us over telehealth, and we can get your kid feeling better as soon as possible.
And for a fraction of the cost, we can provide these services, and when that happens, you have a happy parent.
Yes.
By the way, your pitch was so engaging that all I was doing was like, yeah, I know that. What you did in that short amount of time was not only engage us, but you kept our attention. How many here understood what he did just off his first pitch? Right? You see how clear that was? There wasn't no, well, what I kind of do is I do. No, he went straight for it. He knew exactly what he was selling. He knew exactly what he was presenting. And most of all, he was believable. I believe he knew what the hell he was talking about. In fact, when I was done, after he was done, I said, damn it, I need to put PIK2AR on speed dial. I know this, and we're laughing, but that information that he planted is now here registered. Did you all get that same feeling, or was it just me? So this is the beauty of understanding how to use media to your advantage. What I just did was I planted a hack with you guys, so it at least gives you a guideline. So if you're ever around and somebody sticks a microphone in front of you, you don't go up. What? Can I come back tomorrow and tell you? No, you have to remember, seize that opportunity. You never know when you get that opportunity again, especially in media. You got to make it count. So tune in on Wednesday. I'll be available on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the same Zoom call. I'll go into a little further detail. I'm going to tell you guys how to build your LinkedIn page so it's sexy and complete. And then we're going to start putting material up so you become an authority that's authentic. And then I like what our man here, Steve, just did, is where we also pay attention with the assertiveness of the message. All right? You're very welcome. I hope it didn't look like anyone fell asleep, so I think I did okay.
You did.
All right. If there's no other questions, Susie, I'll turn the floor back over to Sincera. And if you need to get a hold of me on social media, you should be able to find me. All my social media is Polynesian. PAULYNESIAN. PAULYNESIAN. Polynesian.
Thank you, Paul.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys.